Hey Primary 5 Math Prodigies, this is Coach Saiful with your daily dose of math mastery, and today we're going to go into question number 3 of your assessment paper number 5 on ratio. So let's take a look at it right now. It says find the ratio of the area of a triangle of base 10 cm and height 4 cm. Okay, I'll take a deep breath there. To the area of a square of side 8 cm. So what are they asking for? Find the ratio. So that's step 1. Find the ratio of what? Of 1 area of a triangle, okay, then bracket of base 10 cm and height 4 cm, to what? To 2 area of a square of side 8 cm. So let me just draw this out for you. So area of a triangle, basically area of a triangle over here of base 10 cm, 10 cm and height 4 cm, and height 4 cm, okay, height 4 cm, is to what? What is the height? What is the other one? A square of side 8 cm, because square of sides of a square are all equal. Am I right? Yes. So what is the area? They want to ask you the area. So imagine that area. What's the area of this? 8 times 8, it gives you 64. What is the area of this? It's actually half times base times height. In other words, half times base, which is 10, times height, which is 4. Cancel, cancel. You have 5 times 4 gives you 20 is to 64. Is that it? cm squared, by the way. Is that it? No, it's not. You have to make sure that they are reduced to the lowest form, lowest expression. So here, what can you do? You can divide it by 2, can you? 10 is to 32. Can you divide by 2? Of course you can. 5 is to 16. Can you divide by 2? No. Can you divide by 5? No. Can you divide by 3? No. That is it. So the answer is 5 is to 16. If you got that one right, I'm going to give you a big high five because you are a math prodigy. Good job. So that's it, man. That's really it. So again, like I said, it's pretty simple. Why? Because I keep saying it's pretty simple. I know some of you might find it tough, but when you keep saying things, this is pretty simple, it becomes your reality. What you focus on expands. In other words, if you keep focusing on the good thing, you're going to feel more good things. If you're going to focus on the bad things, that's what you're going to get more of. I'll give you an example. If let's say you go for an exam, okay, for the math exam, for a math test, for example, and you get good marks, what's going to happen? You're going to feel good, right? You're going to be happy. And then it happens, and then it happens a second time around, and then you're like, wow, this is really awesome. Math is really fun. Because why? Because you keep getting it right, right? And then you keep saying, oh, math is fun, because you keep getting it right. And you do more practice. Why you do more practice? Because you like it. You like to score better. You like to score higher. And then what happens? And as a result, you take more action, right? And when you take more action, what happens is you get better results. And so it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. In other words, the more you say of it, the more it becomes more real. Now let me focus you on something on another side. The other side of the equation is you get really bad marks for the math test, okay? And how do you feel? You feel really bad. You go home, you get scolded by your dad, you get scolded by your mom, and you get scolded by your teacher, you get scolded by everyone, okay? And then what happens? You start to feel, oh man, math sucks, right? Math sucks. And then you're like, oh, I don't want to do math. This sucks, man. And then what happens? What happens is you don't do it. You don't do your homework. You don't do your assessment papers. You don't do extra work. So you take less action. You practice less. And what's going to happen when you don't practice? You just don't know how to do it anymore. And if you don't practice, you don't do things, the next test, what's going to happen? The next test, what's going to happen is you are going to score poor marks. Why? Because you didn't practice at all. And then you say, oh, see, I told you math sucks. But why did math suck? Because you did not do the work. Okay, so in order for you to really do, in order for you to expand or to increase your marks, you simply have to focus on it being an excellent subject, because it is an excellent subject. It is the beautiful subject. I think it's the most beautiful subject in school. Okay, why? Because I keep getting it right? No, because I keep working on it and I keep getting the questions right, and it becomes very simple for me. So with that, I want to make sure that you do the same thing. Keep saying it's simple. Keep focusing on it and keep working on it, because then your results will change. With that, this is Coach Saiful signing off, saying you are a math prodigy. Good job.